Once upon a time, in the bustling city of Lagos, Nigeria, lived Nkechi, a vibrant fashion designer. Nkechi was married to Emeka, a tech entrepreneur, and together they had two young children, David and Daniel. Their marriage began blissfully, but as Nkechi's career took off, cracks started to show. One day, Nkechi pulled up roughly in the compound and jumped out of her car. She walked furiously towards the house, yanked the door open, and slammed it shut behind her. Emeka, her husband, was working on his laptop in the living room when she stormed in. He jerked in shock as she disappeared into the bedroom, where he heard things being flung about. As he made to stand up, Nkechi wheeled her suitcase out of the house, screaming, "I can't take this anymore." Emeka, speechless, watched her wheel out another luggage. He finally found his voice and asked where she was going with all the bags. Nkechi warned him not to ask stupid questions, shoved him away, and he almost fell. Emeka and Nkechi had been married for 8 years. Initially, Emeka supported Nkechi's career wholeheartedly, investing in her business and helping with her work. Nkechi's fashion business had gained significant recognition, and Emeka was proud of her achievements. But as Nkechi's success grew, so did the strain on their relationship. She began working long hours and frequently traveled for fashion shows and events. Emeka, trusting her implicitly, didn't mind at first, hoping things would return to normal once the excitement of her career settled down. However, Nkechi's success soon began to take a toll. She started spending nights away from home, claiming it was for business purposes. Emeka grew increasingly concerned, especially when he couldn't reach her for days at a time. One particular time, he called her multiple times without an answer. He waited in the living room for her return, but she never did. 2 days passed, and just as he was about to report her as missing, Nkechi walked in, looking exhausted. Emeka told her he detested her sleeping out without informing him. "For goodness sake, anything bad could have happened to you," he said. "It's just work and nothing more," Nkechi replied wearily and walked past him. "At least let me visit you at your workplace," he offered, hoping she would accept. Instead, Nkechi lost it. She turned sharply and angrily warned him never to try that, claiming his presence would be a distraction. Emeka trusted her and let her have her way. As months went by, she started traveling for more tours and events, often away from home for weeks, barely answering or returning his calls. Once or twice, she called on video during meetings to show him she was actually working. After that, her phone would be turned off for the rest of the day. When she eventually returned home, Emeka confronted her, but she flared up, telling him to stop standing in the way of her career or she would leave him. Emeka began suspecting there was more to Nkechi's absence. Determined to get to the root of her behavior, he tried to visit her studio, only to find she was hardly ever there. Her absences grew longer and more frequent, and Emeka started to suspect something was amiss. Despite his suspicions, Emeka tried to give Nkechi the benefit of the doubt. But one day, after discovering she had been lying about her whereabouts, Emeka hired a private investigator. The investigator returned with shocking evidence. Nkechi had been having an affair with one of her wealthy clients, a senator in Abuja named Femi Johnson. Emeka confronted Nkechi with the evidence. She angrily denied everything, accusing Emeka of not trusting her. Their arguments became more frequent, and Nkechi's behavior increasingly erratic. Despite her claims of being busy with work, it became clear she was more interested in her new lover. The final blow came when Nkechi returned home one evening, visibly distressed and packed to leave. She announced she could no longer stay in the marriage and was moving out to focus on her career. Emeka, heartbroken and exhausted, pleaded with her to stay for the sake of their children, but Nkechi was adamant. Over the next few months, Emeka struggled with his new role as a single father. He hired a nanny, Chinyere, to help with the children, but he remained deeply involved in their lives. David and Daniel grew attached to Emeka, who dedicated himself to providing them with a loving home. Emeka eventually began to heal and found solace in his work and his role as a father. He poured himself into a new tech project, which became a great success and further secured his financial stability. Years passed, and Emeka met Rosetta, a new project manager at his tech company. Their relationship developed naturally, and Emeka found a new sense of happiness and fulfillment with her. They married, and Emeka's life began to take a positive turn. One day, Nkechi reappeared in Emeka's life, demanding to see her children. She had fallen on hard times and was desperate. Nkechi revealed her business was failing due to the economic downturn, and the man she left Emeka for had abandoned her. She begged Emeka to let her see her children, claiming she had changed. Emeka was unmoved by her pleas. He had learned to love and cherish the children as his own, and he was determined not to let Nkechi disrupt their lives. Despite her attempts to manipulate him emotionally, Emeka stood firm and refused to let her back into their lives. Nkechi left, filled with regret and sorrow for her past decisions. Emeka continued to focus on his family, and the children thrived under his care. He and Rosetta built a happy life together, and Emeka was content knowing he had made the right choices for his family. Years later, the story of Emeka and Nkechi's turbulent past became a distant memory, overshadowed by the joy and stability he had found with Rosetta and their family. Emeka was at peace, having built a new life filled with love and fulfillment, and he cherished every moment with his children, grateful for the life he had created. The end. Thank you for watching this story. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends and loved ones. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more interesting and captivating stories like this one, and hit the bell icon so that you never miss any update. We love to hear your thoughts about the story in the comment below. Thanks again for watching.